The room decides who matters before a single word is spoken. And the strange part, the man it picks almost never knows he was chosen. I want you to picture a Tuesday afternoon. Nothing special. A hotel lobby in Dallas. A man of 63 walks in. Gray polo, clean shoes, nothing expensive. He doesn't smile at the front desk. He doesn't rush. He sets his bag down, stands still, and waits. Within 4 seconds, the woman behind the counter straightens her posture. The businessman on the couch looks up from his phone. A younger man near the elevator steps aside, and the 63-year-old hadn't even looked at him. Now, freeze that moment. Hold it, because what just happened has nothing to do with size, nothing to do with status, and nothing to do with money. That man triggered something older than language. And most men over 60 have no idea they're doing it. Or worse, they've trained themselves to stop. Today, I'm giving you 4 signs. 4 things that happen around you, not because of what you say, but because of what you are. Number 4 is the one almost every man watching has felt and dismissed. Stay with me. Tell me in the comments, when was the last time a room shifted when you walked in? Be honest, because if it happened and you ignored it, that's the conversation we're having right now. Here's where most men our age get it completely wrong. There are 2 camps, and both lose. The first camp decided that presence means aggression, loud voice, firm handshake that lasts too long, staring people down in a grocery store. That's not presence, that's performance. And people don't respect performance. They tolerate it until they can leave. The second camp, and this one's bigger, decided that after 60, the polite thing to do is shrink. Take up less space. Speak softer. Defer to the younger man in the room because it's his turn now. These men haven't lost their presence. They've surrendered it voluntarily because somebody told them that fading was dignity. It's not. Dignity is standing in a room and not apologizing for the space your body fills. Dignity is letting silence do what most men try to do with volume. And the men who understand that, the ones who kept it or got it back, they carry something that makes other people behave differently around them. Not because they demand it, because they can't help it. Number 4, people over-explain themselves to you. You're at a family dinner. Your son-in-law starts telling a story about why he changed jobs. Normal story. But halfway through, he looks at you and adds 3 more sentences he wasn't going to say. Justifications, context, almost like he's defending a decision you never questioned. That's not nervousness, that's calibration. When a man carries genuine weight, other people feel the need to earn his approval even when he hasn't asked for it. They talk longer, they give more detail, they watch your face while they speak. If people around you routinely explain more than the situation requires, that's not them being thorough. That's them responding to something in you they probably can't name. You don't have to say a word. Your stillness did the asking. Number 3, strangers give you more personal space than they give other people. Watch it next time. A coffee shop, a waiting room, a line at the hardware store. The gap between you and the next person is wider than the gap between everyone else. Not by a mile, by 8 inches. But those 8 inches are a verdict. People don't crowd a man they read as solid. It's not fear, it's deference. The same instinct that makes a person step aside on a sidewalk without being asked. Your physical boundary expanded, and you didn't move a muscle. Now, a lot of men misread this. They think people are avoiding them. They think they're unapproachable. No, unapproachable men get ignored. You're not being ignored, you're being accommodated. There's a difference the size of a canyon. Here's the brutal part. Most men over 60 who carry this have been carrying it for years and calling it loneliness. It's not loneliness, it's a signal you stopped reading. But space alone doesn't tell the whole story. Number 2, when you speak, people stop what they're doing. Not because you're loud, not because you're dramatic, because something in your cadence tells the room, this isn't filler. A man with real presence doesn't compete for airtime. He waits, and when he finally opens his mouth, at a dinner, in a meeting, standing in a driveway, the background noise dips. Forks pause, side conversations stall. Not always, but often enough that if you felt it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is the sign that scares men the most, because it carries responsibility. If the room goes quiet when you talk, you'd better mean what you say. And a lot of men, good men, stop talking altogether because the weight of that attention feels like pressure. Don't stop. The room isn't pressuring you. The room is trusting you. That silence is an invitation, not a trap. Speak less, but never stop. Number 1. People act differently when you leave. This is the sign you'll never see directly, but you'll hear about it. A wife tells you the energy at the table changed after you stepped outside. A friend says the conversation got louder or sloppier once you left the room. Your daughter mentions that her boyfriend relaxed the second you walked out. That's not charm. Charm works while you're present. This works after you're gone. Your absence has texture. People feel the change in the room the way they feel a ceiling fan shut off. And it takes a moment to identify what. That is the deepest sign of genuine presence. It's not what you bring to a room. It's what the room loses when you leave. And the man who carries that, who walks into a hotel lobby on a Tuesday and rearranges the behavior of 5 strangers without speaking, that man didn't learn a trick. He became something. Now picture something with me. Saturday morning, a community breakfast. Church hall, VFW, doesn't matter. 40 men in the room. Most of them are fine men. Decent. But watch what they do. They shuffle to their seats. They laugh a little too quickly at someone else's joke. They check their phone under the table. They fill silence with noise because silence feels like disappearing. And then there's one man, maybe 2. They walk in, nod, sit down. They don't scan the room for approval. They don't rush to fill the quiet. When someone speaks to them, they listen, fully without rehearsing their next line. And when they respond, it's 3 sentences. Measured. Those 2 men own that room. Not because they took it, because the other 38 gave it to them. That's the 3%. Not a title. Not a club. A way of moving through the world that most men our age abandoned, somewhere around 55. And a few kept like a second heartbeat. You're watching this video. That tells me something. It tells me you didn't surrender. You felt these signs, and you came looking for the language. Now you have it. Remember that hotel lobby. A gray polo, clean shoes, nothing loud, and 5 people rearranged themselves around a man who never asked them to. That man didn't have a secret. He had a decision, made years ago and remade every morning, to occupy his own life without apology. That decision is waiting in the next room you walk into, tomorrow morning. A coffee shop, a hallway, your own kitchen. If this landed, subscribe, not for me. For the man next to you in these comments who needed to hear it and hasn't found us yet. Share this with one man who's been shrinking, and you'll watch him stand back up. Now, if you want to understand exactly why younger women read this presence before a man speaks a single word, go watch Why Younger Women Are Secretly Drawn to Men Over 60. That video breaks the mechanism wide open. Walk into the next room like you belong there.